Can hypertrophy-based training help you get leaner? We're gonna cover that, and we're gonna start right now. So the first thing we have to talk about is how can we lose weight? If we're trying to get leaner, we have to analyze how we're gonna lose weight. And when we're talking specifically about exercise, a lot of people will look at specific types of exercise and think, if I'm a distance runner, I'm gonna get leaner. But it's important to understand that we acknowledge what's happening with fat, how fat is mobilized inside of your body over weeks and over months based off of two specific things. And we have to look at total daily energy expenditure and then consumption, okay? So if we're looking at total daily energy expenditure, that's going to be based off of how much energy we're actually expending on a daily basis, okay? And then consumption is gonna be based off of how much energy we're consuming. And if we're in a caloric surplus, that means that we're gonna be consuming more than we're actually expending, and in turn, we're gonna be gaining weight. Even if we're running 25 miles a day, if we're consuming more than we're actually burning, we will lead to weight gain. Now, this is gonna take us into some other key concepts that we're gonna cover so we can figure out if hypertrophy-based training is gonna help us get leaner. Okay, so what is hypertrophy work? I think one of the key concepts is, first, we have to realize there's two types of hypertrophy, but traditionally speaking, hypertrophy work is gonna be 8 to 15 reps. Now, a lot of people believe that hypertrophy basically ceases if you're doing more than 15 reps. But contrary to that thought process, if I'm doing 20 plus reps, I will still achieve hypertrophy, especially if those sets are gonna be carried out to failure. Thus, the new paradigm for hypertrophy-based training is that hypertrophy and growth of the muscle can be achieved through a wide variety of different rep schemes. That can be done through 4 to 6 reps, all the way up to 40 reps. Now, Brad Schoenfeld has found in some of his research that if you go above 40 plus reps, around 20% intensity, so let's say you do a set of 50 or 60, that's gonna be suboptimal for actual muscular growth. So stay 40 reps or below, and you'll still be able to achieve muscular hypertrophy. Remember, hypertrophy is growth in muscle mass. If we're doing rep schemes of 5 to 30 to 35 reps, we will be able to see a growth in that overall muscular mass. But that does not mean an increase in overall strength. So what is the research saying for me to get as swole as Machamp, one of the best Pokemon out there? My first recommendation would be read the study. Does a hypertrophying muscle fiber reprogram its metabolism similar to a cancer cell? Inside of this study, they go into how larger muscles can have a greater increase in glucose uptake, and in turn, that creates a negative association between diabetes and hypertrophying muscles. So inside of this research, we've seen that resistance-based exercise can increase glucose uptake. Okay, so if we have an increase in glucose uptake, now that muscle fiber or that muscle cell is using that glucose for specific anabolism. It's using it to actually grow, and it's using it as an energy metabolite. So that in turn leads to greater glycemic control, specifically for individuals who are at risk for diabetes. So what does that mean? That means that we should be lifting, especially if we're gonna be more prone genetically to getting diabetes, we should be doing hypertrophic rep ranges. We should be partaking in hypertrophic based training to try to prevent us from getting diabetes. So essentially what this study is saying is that there's evidence that hypertrophying muscles take up more glucose and in turn have an anti-diabetic effect and potentially, and this needs to be researched even further, but in theory, it seems that this is going to be accurate, an anti-obesity effect. And so again, we should all be exercising with resistance-based training if we want to prevent obesity and we want to prevent diabetes. So if you want to learn about more resistance-based training methods so that you can prevent diabetes and be a little bit leaner, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll put out videos 3 times a week, and every Friday, we've got that YouTube Live. So when we're doing hypertrophy-based training, we're going to be expending quite a bit of calories, and we're also going to see some specific mechanisms that will improve or enhance or increase the amount of energy that we'll actually be using on a daily basis, because hypertrophic training can be very arduous, it can be very difficult. But that means in turn that we have to be eating very, very well. We have to be eating clean and making sure that we're tracking our overall macros. We need to make sure that we're crushing resistance-based training and that we're sleeping well so that we can improve our overall recovery. So how can we get lean and be hypertrophic? And first, we've got to remember you have to eat well. You have to make sure that you're consuming, basically in line with your total daily energy expenditure, maybe a 200 calorie surplus, but no more than that. We also have to make sure that we're training those rep ranges of 5 reps all the way up to 40 reps. That's gonna help us be more hypertrophic. Also, if you need help with this, if you're struggling, you can click on the link down below. We've got a program called the Mass Builder Program. That's a program that I put together specifically to increase hypertrophic mass. It's a great program, it's 12 weeks, it's gonna help you get as swole as possible. Now, I'm gonna give you one trick in this video that you can use today when you go to the gym, and you're gonna realize this is the rep scheme that you can really use to get as beefy as possible. Okay, so this exercise setup is gonna be based around anything that you can use, like a bench press, a back squat. Back squat's gonna be very challenging, deadlifts even, but we call it the 80-60 drop. So we've got 315 on the bar. Let's say hypothetically, my best bench press is 395 pounds. 80% of that is gonna be 315, okay? So we're gonna take that 315, 80% here. And we're gonna do 5 reps. So when we're at 80%, we're gonna do 3 sets of 5, okay? So we do 3 sets of 5 at 315, if my hypothetical max bench press is 395 pounds. Then we're gonna rest about a minute, we're gonna get on the bench, and now we're gonna do that 80-60 drop. So the 80% was at 315, 60% of 395, it's 235 for the video. We're gonna do 225. I'm gonna get on it, I'm gonna do 3 sets of 17 reps. So 3 sets of 5 at 80%, 3 sets of 17 at 60%, and that's where we get the name 80-60 drop. One set of 17 and I'm already swelled up. So we've covered how individuals can lose weight. Then we went over the specific definition of hypertrophy. We provided a specific protocol so that you can actually lead to more hypertrophic muscles. That means you can pick up the Mass Builder by clicking on the link down below in the description, or you can use the 80-60 drop that we mentioned prior. If you want more content to have a hypertrophic brain, make sure that you follow our Masters of Sport podcast. It's our entire podcast channel devoted to dissecting these problems even deeper regarding strength-based training. And if you want more specific exercises for sports, make sure you follow our brand new channel, Peak Strength. Because remember guys, if you want to be freaks, you've always got to cultivate your power. Peace.